Hey everyone, just a quick video to do before I have to go and sleep and do important things tomorrow. So, without further ado, let's just get right into this video and just prepare for whatever it is it may present to us.
Hello, lovely people.
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm sorry I've been away for a little bit. I've been kind of busy working and doing a couple of different things. But today I want to talk about feminism.
Ooh. Okay, that was worse than what I just did.
Now, this word gets a lot of bad rap.
The movement gets a lot of bad rap. Not the word is just a word, but I wonder why.
I don't really understand why. I think it's partially because people don't truly understand the definition of feminism.
We understand the definition, we can read, but the thing is, actions speak louder than words, and what we see in reality is not what we see in the dictionary, most of the time anyway.
What I want to talk about is the idea that we all need it.
We all need it because you say it. Okay, how come I need feminism? How come my next door neighbour, why does he need feminism? Why do the people downstairs need feminism? Why do we all need feminism exactly? Because other than the last 50 years ago where it did all that it needed to do, why do we need it now? Why do we need it? I mean, so far what it's been doing isn't very good, but I'm going to let you explain. Go on, enlighten me.
Both men and women.
I'm sure it's the usual, isn't it? No, men need help with their feelings, and women, well, they just need to close that mythical pay gap. Is that it? Is that why? Are you just paying lip service as usual when you include men? Because that's what it usually is.
Many of these people say that they don't like the idea of feminism, they're against it, which is kind of ironic because feminism allows them to have those opinions.
No, I think you'll find the law allows us to have those opinions. Feminism did not create the American First Amendment and the British unwritten constitution where we basically have the right to free speech. We have our own Bill of Rights, people, before you lot, just in case you want to know. But yeah, it's the law that allows us to have these opinions. In fact, these opinions technically are inalienable rights. They are things that we are born with. But hey, whatever, apparently feminism invented free speech, invented the right for us to have these opinions, even though people have held these opinions for hundreds of years.
Without feminism, women today wouldn't be able to vote, wouldn't be able to work.
Actually, they were able to work, just not when they had kids in certain Western countries. And I'll give you the vote, although it depends what you define as feminism, because not everyone called themselves feminists back then. They preferred the term either, suffragists or suffragettes if they were the crazy ones, or women's rights activists, or the women's movement. Feminism was more of a thing that came on later, But whatever, the history degree guy's obviously wrong here.
To share their opinions, to learn, there's a lot of
There's always been learned women, and the women who have shared their opinions. I mean, there are women throughout history who have taken over entire countries and ran them either extremely well or extremely poorly. Case in point, Queen Victoria, even though she didn't have any executive power, she was still a good ruler. And for example, a bad ruler would be the last Queen of Hawaii, although I always forget her name because the name is very long and kind of difficult to memorise, even for me. But she was the example of a bad ruler because she was tyrannical and she, lost the country in the end, didn't she? But hey, you know what? Apparently women didn't have opinions and shit and weren't having all the power, even though they clearly did. But whatever.
Credit we have to give women and people who fought for feminism and the idea of equal rights for all.
Yeah, right. Credit because they're women. Is that what you're referring to? And it's funny because the first wave feminists were racists. They'd rather the white women have the vote before the black men. That's racist. Rather than just have, universal suffrage. No, just white women and white men should have the vote. Just in case you were wondering.
Feminism isn't just about, attack man. It's about equality.
No, your definition is about equality. Those people who happen to be the majority of your movement don't think that it's all about equality and don't think men should be feminists and don't think men should, benefit from it. Or if they do think men should benefit from it, it's just let's just sort women's issues out and leave men's issues because they will magically disappear and fix themselves. That's the bad logic we have to deal with, people.
It's about making people feel as though they are needed and wanted.
I'm sorry, is this a movement about political rights or is this a movement about people's feelings? Because that's not what a political and social movement should be about. about? Making people feel wanted and needed. Shouldn't that be us, just as humans, wanting to, feel for each other, love each other, be compassionate to each other, be nice to each other? We don't need a political movement to do that. That says a lot about you guys, that you need a political movement just to be normal human beings. That kind of makes you guys look a little bit psychopathic, but never mind, it's just an observation.
And with feminism, when it comes to men, they're put in these boxes that make them feel as though they need to sleep with as many women as possible, be all like hard and macho, brag about the women they sleep with. They're not allowed to be emotional or cry. And they have to be as manly as possible.
You're predictable. You are utterly predictable. I'm sorry, but this is not the reality that men face. These are not the problems that we face. Some individual men find it hard to express themselves. Some individual men feel the need to brag about things because they're boisterous and arrogant. It's not that society tells them to do it. They just do it. They're just like that. You can't change them. Only they can change themselves. These are individual things that individual men deal with. That's like personality issues that you're talking about here. Men can cry. Men have always cried. Men can show their emotions. We do show our emotions. I'm showing my utter contempt for this absolute inane bullshit you've just spewed at me, because I have none of these issues. Most men have none of these issues. What men deal with is inequalities in the law, such as the court system. There's a prison gap. There's things that's happening in the family courts where men are having their rights taken away just because they're men. Suicide, cancer, our life expectancy is lower. But hey, apparently it's our feels, even though the feels are not the issue here. And this is what's the problem with feminism. You don't understand men. You don't understand men's issues, but you think you do. You say that you do, but you don't.
Part of being human is balancing both masculine and feminine energies.
I'm sorry, but I don't have feminine energies. I'm sorry, that's not what's part of being human. Maybe for you, maybe you have a masculine side. I don't have a feminine side. I'm not a transvestite. I'm not anything like that. I'm just a guy. I don't feel this weird balance. I don't know what you're talking about. This is getting a little bit spiritual, a little bit pseudoscience. It's a bit weird. I'm feeling a little bit tingly in a bad way.
And in order to do that, we need to find a balance. Society just dictates these ideas and just forces this thought process onto us, like, you can't think this way, you have to be a woman, you have to be ladylike and nurturing. And
it's funny that, because feminism loves to push that notion that only women can be the nurturing and caring types and men are the dominating oppressors. But hey, apparently that's us, society's thing. Although then again, it's just projection. So technically she is meaning that, society, feminism, gynocentric style society is kind of, telling us these things. Yeah, apparently that's bad, but it isn't bad. Whatever, these people.
Very shy and quiet.
Love, we don't live in the 19th and early 20th century anymore. We live in the 21st century. We live on another turn of the century. We don't live in that turn of the century anymore, okay? We live in a new one with different cultural attitude. You're talking about a society that is dead. It died in World War I. It's gone. We have completely different attitudes to men and women. And most people do not consider women to be like that. Or maybe Asian countries still think like that. But in the West, no. Women are women, men are men. That's what we think. It's just individuals. Again, where are you getting this from? Are you just reading old Victorian era books?
And sexy, but not a slut.
I'm sorry, but being sexy and a slut is not necessarily the same thing. I hate this whole sexy but not a slut thing. Sexy is just an attraction. Somebody who is handsome, someone who's good looking. Men can be sexy too. Being sexy does not mean you have to be a slut or you can't be a slut, There are plenty of ugly people who have lots of sex. I don't get where this comes from. It actually doesn't make any logical sense now that you think about it, people.
And then with men, like I said before, they have that whole idea of being macho, but there's...
What is macho? Can you define macho? Can you define all these things that men have to be? Men are different. Men act different to women. That's not a bad thing. There might be some expectations on us, but at the end of the day, that's more to do with, you have to provide, you have to have a job, you have to have a good wage. And a lot of this is pushed onto us by women, not by other men. Because society always equals men, the patriarchy, people. Remember this. So, it's more to do with economic factors rather than, what macho feels things. It's It's hard to explain these stupid pressures, but it's nothing to do with that. Even guys who aren't that macho are still expected to provide, and their masculinity isn't necessarily questioned if, you know, they have a high voice or something, or then they're skinny like me, you know? That's not how we're judged, really.
Something so much bigger. We need to focus on the idea that identities can be more well-rounded.
Just a thought, why can't we just do what Monty Python said?
You've got to think for yourselves. You're all individuals. Yes, we're all individuals. You're all different. Yes, we are all different. I'm not.
See what I mean? All individuals. Why can't we just say we're all individuals and leave it at that? Okay? It's that simple. We don't need to have this bullshit debate, this non-issue, this non-debate.
Also, there are people who don't fit into either idea of what a man is or what a woman is. There are some people that feel that they have both in them, and that is completely okay.
They can think whatever they think they are, but science tends to disagree. You can't be both. I'm sorry, they can think that. They're perfectly free to do that. I won't judge them, but sadly, biology disagrees.
I think we need to start, changing and shaking things up a bit more. Try to re-educate people.
Otherwise known as brainwashing people into being more like social justice warriors, is always saying, look, we already are in the most accepting time humanity has ever been, at least in the West, okay? You could be trans, you could be gay, you can be straight, you can be anything. Anything. People won't judge you for it unless they're horrible, prejudiced people, you know? And they're ostracised. You can't live in a more free time. Well, at least on paper. We've done well for the past 50 years. Why do you think we've not done enough when we're nearly there, and now you're going to regress us back in order to stay relevant?
The idea of feminism, because it's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful word, and it's not bad.
The word is neither ugly or beautiful or bad. It's the movement that matters, the people in that movement, and they are not beautiful, that's for sure. And I'm not talking about their personal looks. I'm saying what they think, what they practice, what they espouse. It's not good. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
It's about bringing change and ideas into a society that needs it.
What ideas? You've told us to do things that we've already done, and this is at the detriment of actual issues, and now you're saying that we need to do more shit because reasons. Because we need to stay relevant. We've done all the massive change that we need to do, but we want that power.
Or societies. Feminism is a great thing. We should bring it into our lives more and really start focusing on what is it about feminism that's so scary.
Well, they couldn't possibly be the safe spaces, the terrible laws about rape. Men are the perpetrators, women are not. They're just forever the victims. I could go on if you wanted me to.
And try and find a way of allowing people to be feminists and allowing people to keep fighting for a cause that is very well deserved.
Just admit you want to convert us all, okay? Look, most people are not feminists for a reason, okay? It's either they don't care, or they look at it and go, that's a very hateful movement, I want none of it. Yeah, good luck trying to convert the world to love her. You're gonna need it.
And very much needed. I leave you with that, and I wish you a blessed day.
Oh, it's over, finally, people. I just about managed to cut that music out as well. It was blazingly loud and just there. That's the end of the video. Just bog standard stuff, really. I didn't have a lot of time to do a good video to respond to. So I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.